There is a particular kind of financial loss that never shows up on any statement. It does not appear as a line item. It does not trigger an alert. Your bank does not send you a notification about it. And yet, over the course of a lifetime, it quietly destroys more wealth than almost any other force in personal finance. It is the money you spend on things that were never worth what you paid for them. Not luxuries, not indulgences, not expensive habits you know are bad. The things we are talking about today are ordinary purchases. Products and services that most people buy without a second thought, built into daily life so thoroughly that nobody stops to ask whether they are actually delivering value. The answer, in most cases, is no. And the financial industry, the retail industry, and the marketing complex behind both of them are counting on you not to notice. Today, we are going to look at 10 of them. 10 categories of spending that have either been made obsolete by better alternatives or were never worth the price to begin with, or have evolved into such sophisticated profit machines that the consumer almost always loses. For each one, we will look at the psychology that keeps people paying, the real cost over time, and what people who think carefully about money do instead. Because building wealth is not only about what you invest, it is equally about what you stop wasting. And in a world designed to extract money from your account with maximum efficiency and minimum visibility, the most powerful financial skill you can develop is the ability to see through it. Number 1. Extended warranties. Walk into any electronics retailer, any appliance store, or any car dealership, and before the transaction is complete, someone will offer you protection. An extended warranty, a service plan, a care package. The names change, but the pitch is always the same. For a little extra today, you will be covered against everything that could go wrong tomorrow. It sounds reasonable. It sounds like exactly the kind of thing a financially prudent person would buy. It is almost never worth it. The extended warranty industry generates over $40 billion per year in North America alone. Retailers often make more profit from warranty attachments than from the underlying products they sell. At some electronics chains, the margin on a warranty plan exceeds 80%. That is not a coincidence. It is a business model built on the gap between consumer fear and statistical reality. The overwhelming majority of products fail either early in their lifespan, while still under the manufacturer's warranty, or late in their lifespan, after the extended warranty has already expired. The window the extended warranty actually covers is the period when products are statistically least likely to break. Consumer advocacy researchers have confirmed this consistently for decades. The psychology behind why people buy them anyway is called loss aversion. Daniel Kahneman, the Nobel Prize-winning behavioral economist, demonstrated that the psychological pain of losing something is roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining something of equal value. An extended warranty does not sell you protection. It sells you the reduction of anxiety. And that feeling is worth a great deal to the human brain, even when the financial math is terrible. What careful spenders do instead, they self-insure. They calculate what all those warranty premiums would add up to in a year, put that money into a dedicated account, and use it if something breaks. Most years, nothing does. Over a decade, the account grows. The protection is real, the coverage is flexible, and the profit margin goes to them instead of the retailer. Number 2. Cable and satellite television packages. In 2005, the average American cable television bill was $43 per month. By 2015, it had risen to $100. By 2023, many household cable and satellite packages were billing at $150 to $200 per month after fees, equipment charges, and the quiet annual rate increases that arrive without fanfare and are rarely canceled. That is up to $2,400 per year for television. And yet, as of the time of this recording, more than 70 million American households still subscribe to traditional cable or satellite packages. Not because they have examined the alternatives and found them lacking, but because they have not examined them at all. The subscription was set up years ago, the payments are automated, and canceling requires a phone call that nobody particularly wants to make. This is what behavioral economists call status quo bias. The human brain has a powerful preference for maintaining current conditions, even when changing them would produce a clear financial benefit. The pain of inertia is invisible. The hassle of canceling feels real. And so, the cable bill renews and renews and renews. The mathematics of staying subscribed are striking. A household that switched from a $150 cable package to a combination of streaming services costing $30 per month would save $1,440 per year. Invested at a standard long-term market return over 20 years, that annual saving compounds to roughly $78,000. $78,000 for canceling a television package. This is not a hypothetical. It is a straightforward calculation that almost nobody runs because cable television does not feel like a wealth-building decision. It feels like a household utility. That framing, quiet and invisible, is precisely how the money disappears. Number 3. Name brand medications when generics are available. Every year, Americans spend billions of dollars more than they need to on medications, not on specialized drugs or experimental treatments, on ordinary, widely available medicines, pain relievers, allergy tablets, antacids, sleep aids, blood pressure medication, cholesterol treatment. Products for which generic alternatives exist are legally identical in their active ingredients and cost 60 to 80% less. The reason people pay more anyway is not ignorance. Studies show that most people know generics are available. The reason is something more subtle: brand trust, which is a form of status signaling applied to products rather than to people. For decades, pharmaceutical marketing has built associations between branded names and quality, efficacy, safety, and reliability. The orange bottle, the recognizable logo, the television advertisement with the calming music and the reassuring voice. These associations are powerful enough that when people are given identical pain relievers in branded and generic packaging, many report that the branded version works better. This is a measurable, documented placebo effect generated entirely by packaging. The active ingredient is the same. The manufacturing standards are regulated to the same specifications. The product that enters your body is chemically identical. And yet the premium persists year after year because the human brain assigns value to familiarity and to the signal of a trusted name. The math is simple. A household that spends $50 a month on branded medications and switches entirely to generics might save $35 to $40 every month. That is $480 per year. Over 10 years invested, it becomes a meaningful sum. Not life-changing on its own, but one of dozens of quiet leaks that, when sealed together, add up to the difference between financial pressure and financial breathing room. Number 4. Fast fashion. The fast fashion industry is built on one of the most elegant pricing illusions in the history of retail: the cheap item that costs a fortune. A $15 shirt is cheap. A shirt that costs $15 is worn 4 times, falls apart in the wash, and is replaced 3 times a year costs $45. A $45 shirt of decent quality, worn 150 times over 3 years, costs 30 cents per wear. The cheap shirt costs $3.75 per wear. Cost per wear is the calculation that the fast fashion industry does not want you to make. Because once you make it, the entire pricing strategy collapses. The industry generates approximately 100 billion garments per year globally. It has trained consumers to see clothing as a disposable commodity, something to be refreshed seasonally to match trends that are themselves manufactured to drive purchasing. The result is a spending pattern that extracts maximum money from consumers while delivering minimum long-term value. and then disposes of the physical evidence so quickly that the financial reality is never confronted. Behavioral economics describes this as temporal discounting, the tendency to overweight immediate costs and underweight future ones. The $15 price tag registers clearly. The replacement cycle it implies does not. The actual annual cost of a fast fashion wardrobe versus a smaller, better quality one is rarely calculated because the purchases are spread out, each one feels minor, and the cumulative total is never visible in a single moment. People who build wealth tend to apply investment thinking to their closets the same way they apply it elsewhere. They ask not what something costs today, but what it costs over its full, useful life. Number 5. Bottled water. The bottled water industry sells roughly $270 billion of product globally each year. In the United States alone, the average person spends somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500 per year on bottled water when regular purchases, office deliveries, and convenience store buys are fully accounted for. Tap water in most developed countries is regulated to standards equal to or stricter than those applied to bottled water. In the United States, municipal tap water is regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency, while bottled water is regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, which in practice applies less rigorous monitoring. Multiple independent studies have found that a significant percentage of popular bottled water brands are filtered municipal tap water, repackaged at a markup of up to 3,000%. The selling mechanism is manufactured scarcity. The industry has spent decades creating associations between bottled water and purity, health, and sophistication, and associations between tap water and risk, industrial contamination, and low status. These associations are powerful enough that in blind taste tests, most consumers cannot distinguish between premium bottled water and filtered tap water. And yet, the premium persists. A household that stops buying bottled water and invests in a quality filtration system, costing perhaps $200 and lasting several years, would save roughly $800 to $1,200 annually. That number, compounded over 20 years, is not a trivial amount. It is the kind of money that shows up in retirement accounts and financial breathing room, generated not by earning more, but by stopping a purchase that was never delivering the value it charged for. Number 6. Lottery tickets. The lottery is the only legal financial product that openly advertises a negative expected return, and still generates nearly $100 billion in annual ticket sales in the United States. The expected return on a lottery ticket, accounting for taxes, the lump sum discount, and the odds of winning, is typically between 40 and 60 cents on the dollar. No other investment product with that return would survive for a week in any regulated market. Yet lottery sales have grown steadily for decades, with the heaviest buyers concentrated precisely among households that can least afford to lose money. The psychology is not about probability. Almost everyone knows the odds are nearly impossible. It is about hope. Robert Shiller, the Nobel Prize-winning economist, has studied lottery behavior extensively. His conclusion is that lottery tickets are purchased as brief, affordable escapes from economic anxiety. The ticket does not buy a chance to win. It buys a few days of imagining what winning would feel like. And that feeling, for people living under financial pressure, has real psychological value, even when the financial value is close to zero. The compounding cost of the habit is the real problem. A household spending $20 per week on lottery tickets spends over $1,000 per year. 20 years of that habit, with the money invested instead at a conservative return, produces a sum larger than most lottery jackpots those players will ever win. The retirement was already there. It was just being spent on tickets. Number 7. Premium gasoline for regular grade engines. Every major oil company sells gasoline in multiple grades: regular, mid-grade, and premium. Premium costs roughly 20 to 30 cents more per gallon. The marketing language around premium fuel, the word itself, the higher octane rating prominently displayed, the implication of superior quality, persuades millions of drivers every year to pay more than they need to. For most cars, premium fuel provides zero benefit. The distinction between regular and premium gasoline is octane rating, which determines resistance to pre-ignition, a phenomenon called engine knock. High-performance engines with high compression ratios require premium fuel to function properly. Standard passenger vehicle engines are designed and calibrated for regular grade. Putting premium fuel in a regular grade engine does not make it run better, cleaner, or longer. It does nothing. The money is simply transferred from your fuel budget to the oil company. The American Automobile Association has studied this in detail. It estimates that American drivers waste more than $2 billion annually by purchasing premium gasoline for engines that do not require it. The mechanism is straightforward. The word premium carries an implied meaning that has nothing to do with the technical specification. Most people do not know their engine's actual fuel requirements. Many assume, understandably, that better means better. It does not in this case. It means more expensive with no functional return. The fix is simple. Check your owner's manual. If it says regular, use regular. If it says premium required, use premium. If it says premium recommended, consult the manufacturer. The word on the pump is a marketing construct. The word in your manual is an engineering specification. Number 8. Financial advisor fees on index fund portfolios. This one is less visible than a cable bill or a box of bottled water, but it is almost certainly the most expensive item on this list for anyone who has been investing for more than a few years. The standard fee for an actively managed financial advisor is 1 to 2% of assets under management per year. On a $400,000 portfolio, that is $4,000 to $8,000 annually. On a $1 million portfolio, it is $10,000 to $20,000 every year, whether the market goes up or down. The research finding this fee structure obscures. The majority of actively managed funds underperform simple index funds over 10-year periods after fees. This is not a fringe position. It is the established consensus of decades of academic finance research replicated across markets and time periods. Paying a premium for active management produces, on average and over the long run, worse results than paying almost nothing for a passive index fund. John Bogle, who founded Vanguard and spent his career building the case for low-cost index investing, described advisor fees as the single most powerful force working against the individual investor. Not markets, not volatility. Fees. Because every dollar paid in fees is a dollar that is not compounding on your behalf. This is not an argument against all financial advisors. Advisors who provide genuine tax strategy, estate planning, and behavioral coaching can add real value. The question is whether that value is worth the fee being charged and whether the underlying investments could be replicated at a fraction of the cost. Number 9. Convenience food premiums. The grocery store has become a masterclass in pricing psychology, and nowhere is that more visible than in the convenience food category. Pre-cut vegetables carry a markup of 200 to 400% over whole vegetables. Pre-marinated proteins cost substantially more than raw proteins and a bottle of marinade. Meal kit delivery services charge on average $8 to $12 per serving for food that, purchased as ingredients and prepared at home, would cost $2 to $3 per serving. Individually portioned snacks cost 3 to 4 times more per ounce than the same product in bulk packaging. Each of these premiums purchases one thing: time and effort. The vegetables are already cut. The meal is already planned. The portion is already measured. The convenience is real, and for some households, in some circumstances, it is worth paying for. The problem is that most people do not consciously decide to pay the convenience premium. They do not think of it as a choice. They buy the pre-cut broccoli because it is there, because it is easier, because the time saved feels free. The premium feels invisible because it is embedded in a purchase that would have happened anyway. A household that cooks 4 times per week using whole ingredients rather than convenience package versions might save $100 to $200 per month. That is $1,200 to $2,400 per year for skills that most people already have or could develop in an afternoon. The wealthy cook at home, not because they cannot afford restaurants or meal kits, because they understand that financial awareness is not a special occasion behavior. It is a daily one. Number 10. Timeshares. The timeshare industry has, over the past 4 decades, perfected the art of transforming a pleasant afternoon into a decades-long financial obligation. The sales process is legendary for its psychological sophistication. You are brought to a resort, you are fed a meal, you are shown beautiful rooms and asked to imagine your family there every year. You are told the price is going up, and this is your last chance. You are told that this is an investment. You are worn down by hours of high-pressure presentation until signing feels like the only way out. None of it is true. A timeshare is not an investment. It is a liability. The average timeshare purchase price in the United States is around $23,000. In addition to the purchase price, owners pay annual maintenance fees that average $1,000 to $1,500 and increase roughly 4% every year. When the buyer wishes to exit, they discover that the resale market for timeshares is so depressed that many units sell for $1. Some owners must pay exit companies thousands of dollars simply to escape their contracts. The industry's own data shows that the majority of timeshare owners report regret over their purchase. Consumer protection agencies receive more complaints about timeshares than almost any other consumer product category. And yet, the sales machine continues, generating over $10 billion in annual revenue because the sales process exploits every behavioral vulnerability identified by 50 years of consumer psychology research. Scarcity, social proof, reciprocity, exhaustion, and the powerful human tendency to make poor decisions when under pressure in unfamiliar environments. If you have been to a timeshare presentation and walked out without signing, you made one of the best financial decisions of your life. If you have already signed, consult a legitimate exit company and then never attend another presentation again. The pattern across every single item on this list is the same. Each one is a product or a service where the marketing operates on a different logic than the financial reality, where the experience of buying is engineered to bypass rational evaluation, where the price paid and the value received are separated by a gap that only becomes visible when you stop and do the math. Building wealth does not require a higher salary, a lucky investment, or a brilliant idea. It requires the slower, quieter discipline of refusing to be separated from your money by systems designed specifically for that purpose. The people who retire comfortably are not always the highest earners in the room. They are often the people who simply paid closer attention, who asked the question most people do not ask: is this actually worth it? In most cases, the answer is no, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it.